All right, welcome back. We're back to college algebra, solving systems, this time by substitution. Again, this is in 6.1. Hopefully something that's not too difficult. It'll require the knowledge that you already have. You already knew how to do the basic steps. Now it's just putting things together. So situation is the same as last time, but we're not graphing. So we're still looking for two solutions. We're still looking for an x, and we're still looking for a y. And we want them to solve both equations here. And so what we're going to do is use a different way. And so the idea behind this is the following. Number one, pick a variable and an equation and solve for it. And solve for the variable. And so this is actually where the technique comes in, and this comes with experience, but you want to pick a variable that seems like it's really easy to solve for. And so I'll give you some suggestions here for this. Personally, I would pick either this x right here, this x, because it looks like it's really easy to solve for, or I would pick this y right here. Solve for one of those two. It doesn't really matter to me. But again, I think the second one is better. So this is equation 1, this is equation 2. And so I think, my personal opinion is let's pick equation 2 and solve for x. Now you can solve for anything. The reason I'm picking 2 and x is because I think it's easy to solve for x. I think all I have to do is add 2y, and there you go. X is equal to 2y minus 2. That wasn't that hard. That was very easy. Sometimes if you pick the wrong variable, you might get fractions, and this might not be a good thing. And so that's why I like to pick the x. The x just seems really nice here. With the first equation, the reason I didn't pick the y was because there's a negative in front. That maybe requires one more step. This was very quick, very efficient. All right, the second step is plug in this other equation, so it's the other one, so I'm going to underline other equation, what you just solved for. And so here, I want to plug in into the second equation. I want to plug into the first equation. I want to plug in here, but I just solved for x. So I'm going to plug it in, I'm going to replace this x, with 2y minus 2, actually this part, okay? So again, this x right here, I will replace with 2y minus 2. And so I'll rewrite it like this. So here's my second equation, or my first equation, I guess. I'm going to have 2 times something minus y equals 2. And that something will be the 2y minus 2. That goes in here. Okay, why do I like this? Well, if you remember, on your first week in my class, this is what you were solving. This is the reason why I had you solve equations like this. Because this is what you did. You said, okay, well, let me distribute. Let me distribute here, let me distribute here. So I get 4y minus 4 minus y equals 2. And then you said, okay, let's combine like terms. 4y minus y is 3y. So I get 3y minus 4 is equal to 2. Then you added 4 to both sides. I mean, this is stuff that you've been doing all semester. So 2 plus 4 is 6, and then you divide by 3. There we go. And y equals 2. Now I want you to remember when we graph these, we actually got two answers, an x and a y. So the third step here is plug in the answer from the last step, the answer from step 2, into the answer from step 1. And so what that means is this, right now that I know y equals 2, that can go in here, in for y, and that'll give me the x. And so now what I'll do is I'll say, okay, so here I have x equals 2 times something minus 2, but I know that something is this 2 over here. And then now I just work. 2 times 2 is 4, 4 minus 2 is 2, and so my answer, my solution, there's two ways to write it. But I think the one that's more descriptive is this, x equals 2 and y equals 2. Because now you can see that you're looking for two numbers, and that satisfy both equations, and this is what we're doing. And by the way, notice if you compare this to the last video, it's the same answer, and that's why I picked the same problem. I want to make sure that we get the same answer, and you recognize that you have more than one way to do this. Okay, try the second one on your own. Pause the video, try it on your own, see if it works. I'll come back and answer and see if we got the same thing. Okay, so when I look at this, again, there's two equations. There's equation 1, the first equation, and there's equation 2, the second equation right here. And I have to pick, do I want to solve for x? Do I want to solve for y? Do I want to solve for this y? Or do I want to solve for this x? But I look at the coefficients. This has a 2. This one has a 2. This one has a 3. I feel like the easiest one to solve for here is actually this x right here. And so I'm going to go ahead and start there. I'm going to start by writing down this first equation, x plus 2y equals 1. And I'm going to solve for x. I'm going to subtract 2y because I think this will be really, really easy. X equals negative 2y plus 1. You see, that wasn't too bad at all. That's actually very nice, very simple. Now, I need to plug this into the second equation, and I need to plug it in for x. I'm replacing this x right here with this over here. So I'm going to write 3y minus 2 times something equals negative 9, but this something is what goes in here, so the negative 2y plus 1. And now we just do our regular algebra. I have 3y. I distribute the negative 2, so I get that positive 4y. Negative 2 times positive 1 is minus 2, and I get negative 9. Just a little bit more solving, and we're good. Let's combine like terms. So 3y plus 4y is 7y, minus 2 equals negative 9. Let me add 2 to both sides, and I get 7y equals negative 7. Okay, so let's divide by 7, and so I get that y equals negative 1. So there's part of my answer. And now let's go ahead and plug this in. So this y equals negative 1. Let's go ahead and plug it in right here. Okay, so I have the following. I have x equals negative 2 times something plus 1. But that something is a negative 1. And negative 2 times negative 1 is positive 2, and 2 plus 1 is 3. And so my solution is x equals 3 and y equals negative 1, which is the same thing that we got previously in the first video. Unless I said it wrong, but I think this is what I said. All right, well, that's it for this video. Go ahead and try your homework, see how it goes, and the next video we'll have a different way of solving the same two equations. And I want you to know all three.